blustery, windy, awful weather this weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're all wrapped up nice and warm in your homes, listening to me, listening to my co-presenters Sadat Akram and Arif Aziz. Assalamu alaikum to you both. Are you guys excited to be on the show today?
Very.
Or would you rather be out watching some, I don't know, academy football in this horrific weather?
Did they get cancelled off frozen pitches?
There's been lots and lots of cancellations.
Do you know what? I wouldn't have minded being at the under-13s game today, but I'm looking forward to being here today.
Yeah?
Especially speaking to Sadat.
Oh, I love speaking to you too.
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to be talking to Sadat in great length and detail later on in the show. Just before we kick off, can we just talk about what are some of the things that we're going to be talking about today? Sadat, what have we got on today?
Well, we've got a guest in today, which I'll let you introduce.
We'll introduce him shortly.
Yeah, and we've got the usual. We've got Peterson retiring. We mentioned him last week, or I did.
So you can't talk about Peterson being introduced to the England squad anymore.
No.
Finally, we're going to drop that. Okay.
PSL's coming to its climax. It's coming to the semi-finals in Lahore.
Okay, so after
that's today.
That's one competition I've not followed much. Have you followed?
Well, Lahore.
I haven't. We've left it with Sadat.
So Lahore and Karachi Kings are playing today, and I believe they're the third and fourth position. And it's surprising because Karachi were on number one for quite a long time, but they last few games they've been losing. And the format is whoever wins will then go and play the winners out of 1 and 2, so they still get a chance. Sure. They have to win 2 clear games to get to final now, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 have to just win 1 game.
Okay,
and so that'll be good.
We've also got the Formula 1 season kicking off next week.
We've got that. Yep.
So we'll talk a little bit about that. Arif, I'm sure you've been you're chomping at the bit for that to kick off.
I've done a little bit of research on that, and I'm looking forward to that.
And there's to be in the football, of course, some off the field antics and some on the field antics.
So we're talking about Spitty C.
Spitty, yeah, Slippy G and Spitty C, as I'm sure you've seen.
and Bitey,
yeah,
Spitty, Bitey, and Spitty, Slippy, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's been happening.
So plenty to talk about.
Yeah,
but we're going to introduce the show now, and we're going to start the show off. I would say to all of our listeners, I mean, we are on Facebook Live, aren't we?
Yeah, with Facebook. Yes. My
Let's have
co-coach, if he is watching, I've got him on.
Have you shared it?
I haven't shared it yet.
I thought I was going to share it.
I'm waiting for you to share it. That's why I didn't share it.
It is now shared, and I'm going to write a post. What am I going to say? What should I say? I'll say, join us for a fantastic show. Look at that. Join us. Yeah, there we go.
Just
post it. It's shared now. That's it. It's out on
I
the
should be able to see it on yours
interweb.
now.
I think it's important that we get as many followers watching.
Do you know what? Today, it feels like the kind of show where I want less interaction from our listeners and just give me, you, and Sadat a good opportunity to talk about the key issues that take place in the world of sport this week.
Yeah, I thought you were going to stop at me and you to give Sadat something.
No. So we'd love to have Sadat's comments. I'm glad Ify's watching because I'm sure Ify's got a few comments around what's been happening in the world of sport.
I'd like to hear from Ishi as well, though.
Ishi, Ishfaq Ali, if you're watching, or if you do tune in at some point, please do get in touch with your comments. I would like to introduce our guest today. We have Asif Ali. Asif, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Asif, you're a big lad, aren't you?
I am.
MashaAllah, how tall are you?
Well, I get asked this a lot. So I'm about 6'4" and I don't play basketball.
You're about 6'4", you don't play basketball. But you do play football.
I do.
Yeah, you're the goalkeeper for FC Peterborough Ace. So for the benefit of our listeners, Asif Ali is he's coming today to talk about one of the Sunnah sports that's been offered here in Peterborough. Fatwa Initiative have obviously facilitated swimming, lads and dads and mums and daughters and all that kind of stuff. They've done archery in the past, and they've been running wrestling for a while now. So how long has wrestling been going on?
Well, wrestling, it's been about 18 months, 19 months.
Okay.
I think about 13, 14 months with the new coach Trevor.
Okay.
And it's supported by Children of Adam.
And this is I'm going to say this before you say this. No, I'm going to say this before you say this. So Sadat is going to say, is this WWE? So I've preempted that. It's not WWE. This is serious wrestling, isn't it?
It is Olympic, serious
we had a discussion about this, me and Asif, whilst we were coming into the studio.
Okay.
And, I said to him that, look, what is it? Can you explain? Because WWE
is... So is
it a mix between WWE and Kabaddi?
So, okay, Arif and Sadat, we've got a guest on the show who knows what wrestling is. So if you guys want to talk about WWE and Kabaddi, we'll do that off air. While we're on air, can we give Asif the opportunity to explain this? So, like you say, it's an Olympic sport.
It's an Olympic sport. Yeah, we do freestyle wrestling. There's two types, Greco-Roman and freestyle. There's other variations as well.
Sure.
But freestyle being, you can attack any part of the body.
Sure.
But you can't choke people out. You can't take a body position out of its natural. So no arm bars, no.
Yeah. No clotheslines.
No clotheslines, no rock bottoms, no people's elbows. None of that.
You got to pin them down though.
No top of the rope triple suplexes. And all that kind of rubbish. But I mean, it's a very intense sport, isn't it? It really is highly demanding. Grappling forms a part of it.
Yes.
And wrestling specialists actually compete in mixed martial arts, don't they? MMA. And it's one of those disciplines that you just cannot ignore.
No.
Yeah, my co-presenters are looking at me like, wow, this guy knows.
I think going back, we're talking about 20 years ago when wrestling used to be very, very popular, especially in the UK.
Again, are you talking about wrestling entertainment, or are you talking about actual wrestling?
I think both actually used to be pretty, pretty up there.
Okay.
But now what you find that it's not as. I mean, would you say Big Daddy was that
Big
entertainment
Daddy.
or
that's
entertainment?
Big Daddy
was
Giant
entertainment.
Hextex
That was entertainment.
Yeah. The big slam.
But I mean, Great Britain don't have a lot of success in wrestling at the Olympics. The Olympics tend to be dominated by the Americans and certain parts of Eastern Europe as well. You mentioned, I think you said Romania style, but I mean Romania, Bulgaria. There's a massive
and the Russians.
Russian, yeah. So that's a massive tradition for wrestling. I think some of our listeners might be familiar with the film Dangal, which was a Bollywood film made by Amir Khan.
I was going to watch that, but I didn't.
Oh, it's a very good film. And this is depicting the true life story of a former Indian wrestler who wanted a son and he had a daughter, and then he wanted a son, he had another daughter, and then he thought, okay, forget the son, let's just focus on our daughters and get them, and they became Olympic standard, Olympic silver medals, gold medalist.
Yes, all three of his daughters actually ended up coming
Medaling
really.
Three daughters.
And it's
he had
two, but he had another one who literally just followed in the footsteps as well.
Okay.
And to be fair, it's quite true to the sport of wrestling as well.
Yep.
The training methods, the training, the desire that it's needed. It's a really tough sport.
Yeah. Okay, so before I ask you some further questions, I want to share an anecdote with our listeners and with yourself as well. We had a boy, I'm not going to name him, but we had a boy in our under-11s, and he was playing football for FC Peterborough in the academy, and he was a little bit lightweight, and he was struggling a little bit to get into the team. He wasn't one of the top players, he wasn't getting a start. And then he kind of left football for a little while, and he went off and he joined Fatua, and he did wrestling in their group. He was one of the children's groups that he was doing there, and he did wrestling for about 6 months. He's since come back to the academy and he's dominating. His footwork is amazing, his agility has become off the chart. His strength just in his legs and his body posture, he's not getting pushed off the ball, he's strong, he's got a presence on the pitch, and he's got so much more confidence, just the general self-confidence that he's got all of a sudden, and that's done for one of our footballers who's we know in the children's game. So do you want to talk a little bit about the areas in which people develop physically and through wrestling, and then the training that you guys give?
The first skill that needs to be there is balance and agility.
Sure.
Balance will come into it almost straight away because someone picks up your leg and they're trying to drive you over. You have to stand up straight.
Yep.
Because literally in the sport of wrestling, you'll get the points various, but essentially what is akin to a knockout blow is getting both the shoulder blades down, pinning someone. That's it. Yep. Doesn't matter if they were winning by points. That's it. So essentially you're always twisting and turning. You have to have great core strength.
Yep.
And it's quite. I see this.
So have you got a six-pack?
No, I don't.
You don't have a six-pack?
I don't. But
if he had said yes, I'd have asked him to show me right now. Yeah.
Core strength
on
is
Facebook
beyond.
Live. Sorry,
I already know the answer to that. Yeah, when we're changing rooms.
So have you got a six-pack?
I wish he'd wrestled a few of the players.
So have you got a six-pack?
I've got the base of a six-pack.
Yeah, it's just
the one.
Okay.
I got the one pack.
Just family pack.
Asif, you are a registered qualified coach. So you've done some coaching badges in wrestling.
Yes.
Just talk me through the process by which you get through, and what are the different levels, how you can get into coaching for wrestling?
It's similar to say football or other. It's delivered by UKCC. So you'll have your level 1 coach who's more a parent volunteer or like an assistant, and then you have the fully qualified level 2 coach. I've luckily got the level 2 qualified coaching standard.
And then you mentioned Trevor as well, who does the. What kind of level is he?
He's a level 3, I believe. I'm not sure, but normally they'll let you teach a level below. So if you're obviously, he was running the course there as well. So because he's running the level 2 course, he'll most likely be a level 3.
Absolutely, yeah.
So just tell me, like what age groups do you get? What days is it, and can anybody join?
Anybody can join. It doesn't matter about fitness level or anything. There's no discriminatory factors in wrestling. You can come up and whatever. With the days, it's Monday to Wednesdays, 5:30 to 6:40 p.m. for ages 4 to 7, 6:45 to 8 from 8 to 13, and 8 o'clock to 9:30 for ages 14 and above, and that includes adults.
Oh, okay. You're trying to encourage more adults to take part. You've got a lot of kids, and that's fantastic. Obviously, you're always looking for more kids, and if parents are out there listening, thinking, my child could benefit from developing, because we talk about this a lot, as if you might be familiar with some of the discussions we've had, especially around FC Peterborough as well. Like when we were growing up, and this is like even before your generation, we're about 15, 20 years older than you are. When we were growing up, we grew up on the streets, in the back gardens. We were climbing trees, we were climbing walls, we were constantly developing, ABC. Yeah, agility, balance, coordination. Those are the kinds. We weren't doing it in a formal setting. There were no coaches. We were just doing it because we were out, and we were just doing what boys do. We just, adventures and stuff. Now we get kids coming into the academy, and I'm sure you get kids coming into the wrestling who've had nothing but an iPad or a tablet or or a mobile phone that they've been used to, or they've been sat in front of Netflix all day. So they've just not developed as children have developed in the past. So it's actually it's a huge boost for any parents who want to get their children, boys and girls. Yeah, you've got girls training with you as well. Boys and girls who they think they need to develop a little bit more physically to get involved in football, to get involved in wrestling, to get involved in any kind of structured sports. If you're worried about letting them out by themselves in the gardens or in the parks, then this is, it's supervised. You've got qualified coaches. You've got all the health and safety in place. It's at Gladstone Park. It's an established centre. It's local to people. So definitely, guys, do get involved. Salaam Radio currently running an advert which features Futua Wrestling. So if you listen out for that, you'll get more details. But like Asif said, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, between 5:30 and 9 p.m. depending on your age. The youngsters are early. The adults are later. But yeah, if there's any information that any other parents want, then do get in touch with the show.
Is there any other similar sort of organisation that do it outside of Peterborough? Like, for example, I'm sort of thinking like Luton. Our Luton listeners, I don't know if they have anything like wrestling or anything like that, similar to what Futwa do?
Well, I've been to a local couple of competitions run by the British Wrestling Association, and we normally get competitors from Slough. Slough, Birmingham, Derby, Nottingham.
Wow, so it is quite popular sort of thing. It's not.
Is this isn't a professional sport though? Is it? Is it amateur? You don't get paid to.
At our level, it is, but in Britain, it's quite hard for the better wrestlers, the Olympic standard wrestlers, to break through. They won't be able to make a living.
It's about profile for the sport, and this is a problem. It's kind of catch-22. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? If you have success in a particular egg.
Okay, chicken.
Egg. But it's like if you have success in a particular sport, then the public get behind it.
Yeah,
and then
you get the media.
You've got the advertisers getting behind it, and then you get the Olympics Committee of Great Britain. They get behind it and they fund it, and then they do some grassroots work, and then they set up a couple of academies around the country, and then they pump more money into supporting that particular discipline, that particular sport. So we've had lots of new money going into boxing. We've always had money in athletics. We've got new money going into swimming. We've had a little bit of success in the Winter Olympics recently with the skeleton, with the female skeleton, and curling's always been a popular sport. Those kinds of things, they manage to attract money, but because wrestling hasn't had the money. We've not had the success,
Yeah.
and because we've not had the success, we're not getting the
getting the
money.
money.
So it's going to take one of those breakthrough performances, and then the whole country's going to get behind some random that nobody's heard of, who's going to have a surprise run and then get a bronze medal at Olympics, and then all of a sudden everyone's going to be like, "Hey, what's this Olympics?"
Yeah.
You know,
Do some of these, professional wrestlers, because obviously Olympics, if they are sort of professional, would they travel abroad?
Yes. To qualify, to go to the Olympics or the Commonwealth, they'll have to go to various. Our coach Trevor's just gone. He's actually coming back from Riga, so he'll be coming back. Yeah, so he'll be coming back from. He'll be driving back either on Monday, and hopefully straight to the wrestling session in Peterborough. But so he's taken a couple of the most promising wrestlers from the UK to there, and they'll be competing.
Has anyone from Peterborough gone, or is it a bit soon for us?
It's a bit soon. Okay. There's I believe Mohammed Mukayev from Manchester is doing quite well there.
And do you find we talked about the kids, the youngsters involved in this. Are you trying to attract more adults to get into wrestling, or in Peterborough? I mean, is that something that?
So they've definitely got space, haven't they, in the adults?
No, definitely. Yeah. It's always a funny one, because we always get the initial interest normally is that an adult will come up to the session. He really enjoys it. It fits in with whatever discipline he's either doing, or even just just single wrestling, he enjoys it. Then we kind of struggle to bring him back. I think it's just an image of the wrestling sport. It's just a sport. What can it's not fulfilling for MMA or BJJ. But I tell you what, I think I'll make this point that wrestling is incredibly flexible. You can just, if you let the coaches know what you want from it, we can adapt those techniques for BJJ, for MMA, for whatever.
It's like when you go to the gym and they'll say, well, what are your motivations? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to lose body fat? Do you want to increase muscle tone? Do you want to get bigger? What is your goal? And then they'll design a program around that. I'm guessing wrestling is very, very similar. If you're a footballer and you're struggling about you're worried about agility or strength on the ball, or you think you're a little bit slow to recover, those are the kind of things that you could develop and work on during that wrestling session.
Without a doubt. I think if he came down one session, he's got dodgy knee. He was worried a bit about that, and then he was looking at all the movements. He's like, I can't do this, but he was fine just flinging me over, and a couple of techniques, and he can pin me down quite easily.
Sure.
So it's just about just coming down, give it a try. Let us know what you want to do.
Does wrestling help your ball handling skills when you're in goal? Or is that more dependent on the defence in front of you?
I think so. That would probably be the answer for that.
Listen, really, really appreciate you coming down, Asif.
Can't he show a move on Arif? Can we not see a move?
Oh,
he flips Arif
can we do
over.
this?
Can we do this? It shows a stance. So Arif comes for his first lesson.
I would, can you do it on Sadat, because he's a little close to you.
Arif's more agile and flexible.
Just hang on. we got this.
Arif does this. Look, we do this on Salaam Sports all the time. If there's someone like here, Arif does the stance.
Can you just stand up, please?
He did it with the boxing.
Sadat, can you just stand up, please?
Yoga.
We got Amir Hussain watching. You got Sidra Shabir watching. You got Ansar Ali watching. Sakib Rasib. We've got Ray Sabas watching. They all want to see Asif put you
me over.
Do the tombstone on you.
Tombstone.
No, I want to thank you again, Asif. Thank you so much for coming in, and continue doing what you're doing. It's a great job. It's a great service to the community, and I will encourage all parents and all adults as well to get involved in wrestling. And I think the three of us should go down for one session at least.
I think I agree. I think we should do it for one.
So for the adult sessions, is it 8 o'clock to 9:30?
Yes, it is.
Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays.
Monday and Wednesdays.
Oh, Mondays and Wednesdays. I'm free both days.
Yeah, so
Wednesday.
I could do Wednesdays, I think.
Here we go.
Okay,
Yeah.
We'll come down on Wednesday. We'll see you at 8 o'clock. Oh, sorry. So what are the charges for the adults?
Free of charge.
Adults, it's free.
Adults is free.
It is free, so there's no excuses.
Okay, guys.
Asif, one thing I just want to say is I do want to get into the ring with Sadat. So
it's more a mat. There are no ropes, so
See,
no
you lost already.
ropes or anything.
Okay, that's fine. I'll put him on the floor.
So if there's no rope, so you tell me Arif can run away easy. Oh damn!
Well, see, in wrestling you can't move backwards. It's an attacking sport, so literally a couple of seconds you step backwards, the referee will give you a warning.
Yeah, but you see, without any ropes holding him inside, I've got a feeling now if we'll run away outside of the Glaston Park.
Well,
I might run forward.
We'll see what happens on Wednesday night. Asif, thank you so much,
very
Asif Ali,
much
for coming in.
Thank you.
And thank you for representing Fatwa Sports,
Exactly.
Fatwa Initiative. Let's move on. Great guest, fun guest, and a very interesting further option for the community. And I think we should definitely. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, with him sitting next to me, a big lad like that, and when he talks, he uses his hands a lot. To be honest, I was a bit worried he might grab my shoulder and do a flip
he
or
does look
something.
like a dangerous guy.
But then when he talks, he's got one of those soft voices. You know what I mean?
He's
got
got the voice for radio, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't go that
just got the
far.
face for radio.
I wouldn't go that far.
Peterson.
Peterson.
Retired. So, he's not going to be selected for England now, so that's sorry.
No, he retired. Yeah, I didn't hear his announcement. I saw the.
He still hasn't retired properly, though.
I think he's retired.
He's retired. International cricket. He's retired. I think this PSL will be his last.
So the PSL has moved into the semi-final stage.
Yes.
And it's moved to Pakistan.
And he's refusing to go to Pakistan.
He's not. What?
He's refusing to go
That's
to Pakistan.
a massive jump. I mean, he's just basically said, "Ciao, cricket, I love you," and that's all he said. And he's not going to Pakistan, but he's not refused.
He has because obviously the PSL is held in Dubai.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the early rounds.
Yes. And the final, I believe, last year was only in Karachi.
Yeah.
At this time now, they're doing the semi-final in Lahore and the final in Karachi.
Both semi-finals.
No, one semi-final. So the format is 1 and 2 at the table will play each other.
Yeah.
Whoever wins that goes straight to the final.
Yes.
3 and 4 will play each other, and I believe that's out in Dubai.
Yeah.
And then whoever loses that is completely out. And the winner will play number 2, who lost out of the 1 and 2.
The winner will play the loser of 1 and 2.
Yeah. So they'll play the loser. That in
What a
Lahore.
weird format.
And that'll be in Lahore. And then so the winner of that will then go to the final in Karachi.
Got it.
So number 2 basically has 2 chances. He either wins the first game and they go straight to the final, or they win the second game. The 3 and 4, they have to win 2 games basically to get to the final.
Yeah.
So
Okay. And
that's
what
the format.
Peterson says,
Peterson
I am
said
not going to Pakistan.
he said, because it's the same issue. I remember, if you remember, we was covering it last year, that the international players didn't find it safe enough to go to Karachi to the final.
I think
On
that's
this
just an excuse
occasion,
now, isn't it?
I think so, yes. And on this occasion, Peterson's comment, I believe, is, and someone obviously correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody out there has heard it differently, is he says his family don't want him to go, so he's not going to go to Pakistan.
Wow.
Is that Caprice?
Is Caprice his fan? I don't even know his fan. I don't.
Is he married to Caprice?
Is he married to Caprice?
Caprice was like a model in the 90s.
I thought he was, and
Really?
he did have a relationship with her.
No, hang on.
Oh, there's a sports show, not an entertainment show.
Yeah.
So can we just stick to the sports?
Yeah,
please,
yeah.
guys?
I'll try.
But fill me in later.
But
After the show.
Kevin Peterson, though, I mean, he's, regardless of what you say about him, he's a bit like Marmite, but there's no doubting his cricketing ability.
Controversial player, isn't he?
Yeah,
Over 100 tests.
Yeah.
For
One
England.
of England's best players.
Averaging around
South
45.
African born.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brilliant
I think he in his day he was quality, wasn't he? Though.
Oh, guess what? Mohammed Munir's just joined us. Mohammed Munir, George, if you're watching, second half of the show is going to be all about Man United, mate. So
Look forward to
you
it.
stay tuned in and do feel free to give us your
I
comments.
don't think it'll be all about
Well,
Man
it's going to be a little bit about Liverpool as well, and Mohamed Salah, of course. But yeah, do stay tuned in, and we'll talk football straight after the break. Before we get there, though, very, very quickly, can we just touch on the start of the Formula One season? So, Sebastian Vettel, 4 titles.
4 titles.
Lewis Hamilton,
4 titles.
4 titles. This is the season where we just determine who's the greatest ever. Because I mean,
Oh, is there only those 2?
And
There's another
it is.
There's no 3.
It generally, from what it looks like, those 2 are favourites, and both racing teams are geared up for an unbelievable challenge this year.
Have they got the same cars?
They always tweak cars off season. They always do stuff, and they usually change the rules as well. Have you got an update on the rule changes, or are we going to cover that next week?
I think we're going to cover that next week because
He
it's
basically
still.
doesn't know, is what he's saying.
I gave him an out.
No,
I
you gave him an
I
out
gave him
there,
out.
didn't
I gave him an out.
No, hang on a second. They've
I don't hang my co-presenters out to dry. I'm like, are we covering that next week? He said, yes, we're proposing to cover that next week.
No, we can discuss it now. If you're talking about some of the rule changes, obviously they brought some new aerodynamics into the cars, and some of the driving teams are really getting ready for that. But I think both
What are the
of them
changes?
is to do with the aerodynamics on the actual vehicle, to make it go a little bit quicker and to be a little bit more greener as well.
Yeah, there's always, so what you got to do is you got to design the car to have a certain fuel economy.
Yep.
And then once you've got those fuel economy parameters, you can't just say maximize the amount of fuel that you give and just maximize the power outage. You've got to tweak the car as to minimize air resistance so as to get a certain fuel consumption per mile or per mobile gallon or whatever it is.
See, I appreciate Image for taking the thunder, but that's fine.
I'm just echoing what you say.
Absolutely.
Echoing what you say.
And then there's the engine thing, wasn't there?
We're heading into the break, and I just wanted to say to our listeners, if you're finding that this show is so much more slick than our previous shows, it's because myself, Arif, and Sadat did attend a presenters training event last Sunday, which we found very I think educational.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think Sadat enjoyed the food though.
Sadat enjoyed the food.
Yeah, you have to tell me how the presentation went. I was too busy.
Our listeners must have noticed that we've not said or or during the session, and Arif is not breathing heavy down the microphone.
No.
So if
my
you
ear
do think
instead.
that this show is amazing in quality, then do thank Salaam Radio for providing that training. We'll be back in a short while. Join us after the break. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam.
You're listening to Salaam Radio, and it's now time for Asr Azan.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم بك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك المصير رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته وبسم الله قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه.
You're listening to Peterborough's community radio, Salaam Radio, 106.2 FM.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Salaam Sports here on Salaam Radio 106.2 FM. Our station manager is so impressed with our timing because we popped out and we said hellos to all the group that have come out from UKIM as part of Sadaqah Day. They've been out in this freezing cold, picking up litter on the streets, on Cromwell Road, on Gladstone Street, on Cobden Street and so on, and they're getting a well-deserved hot cup of tea, samosas and Fox's biscuits.
I know. Did you not help? Did you not come out to help?
No, we weren't asked, but we're definitely...
No, nobody asks you. It's a community service. Nobody's going to say, Arif, please come out and do a community service. This is one of those things that you just got to, just jump into and just be part of.
Arif's help was
I wasn't asked.
I threw the crisp packet on the floor.
But no, what was most impressive was our station manager thought we were going to miss the start, but we're so in tune to the show that we got back into the studio with 15 seconds to go live on air, and Sadat is not eating a samosa on air. Thank you so much for joining us. I've not said hello to our Luton listeners, so Inspire FM 105.1, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, our Facebook listeners and viewers, I'm sure you're back with us to join us in the second half of the show. Let's kick straight off with the Spitty Sea incident.
Well, before we go to Spitty Sea, I don't know if you read this, but I saw this survey that Tottenham Hotspur football team sent out to their US supporters or to grab some supporters.
Yes, yeah.
Have you read about it or before?
A little bit. I saw a little bit. The thing is, there was so many controversial things happening in the world of football this week that this one kind of went under the radar. But you're right. To highlight this is actually vital. Go on, tell us about it.
And as soon as I saw it, I thought of Arif, to be honest. And I don't know why, but
hang on a second. Explain to me why. Why did you think of me?
Because the question they asked the fans in the United States was whether a woman's place is in the home.
Why me, Sadat?
I don't know.
I mean, you're the one. I don't want to go into detail,
but why would you ask that question in football? And can I have your answer as well?
I was going to say it's a pretty reasonable question, but I think
I think that's harsh. I think Arif is all for women, contributing in all walks of life, absolutely, and all walks of society, and parts of society, and I think it's a bit harsh.
Well, it was a multiple choice answer, so you can have
yes
definitely agree or definitely disagree.
No, but how sexist is that?
It
really is.
How did that go past whoever reviews the surveys before they go out to US?
I don't think they reviewed the surveys.
So this might be selective reporting. This might have been one in maybe a collection of 10, 20 questions in a survey, and they were just trying to gauge what kind of market they were trying to penetrate. That might be it. This is not them pushing supporters to say, yes, I agree that the woman's place in the kitchen or in the home.
It may well have been taken out of context.
It may have been taken out of context, but I think the point still stands.
Well, they've removed it, so I'm assuming that if it was taken out of context, they would have explained themselves. The fact that they haven't.
And this last paragraph kind of says what I'm saying is the spokesperson for the Premier League club added the inclusion of this question in a club survey was wholly unacceptable and a regrettable oversight. So they regret adding that question, but it was part of a survey. It was not the only question.
No, it wasn't the only question. One guy around
saying, "Do you think women should stay in the home?" It was a number of questions. So yeah, that was a little bit inappropriate.
Well, do you know what? In the sports,
I'm getting a little bit warm. I think I'm going to take my top off.
Why don't you take your top off?
Yeah, take
wow, what are you wearing?
Someone give me sunglasses, please.
Arif Aziz.
What's going on? It's a bit bright.
We've lost him. Where is he? God. Has anybody seen Arif?
It's one of those backgrounds in the studio, don't you?
Mohammed Munir is watching. Amir Suleiman is watching. If you guys can keep your eyes out for Arif Aziz, can you spot him in the studio? Because I can't see him now. I can't see this on air light now because your top is so bright. This is brilliant.
I want to show you the back.
Show me the back.
Show us the back.
Oh, M Salah 11.
Oh, it looks like a new top. Yeah, you've hardly worn it. In fact, you've never worn it. It's the first time.
Do you want to sing the Mo Salah song on a?
No, I'll let Sadat sing it.
I don't know it. You'll probably get it. You won't sing it because you'll probably get it wrong. We know why, don't we?
Okay. We've got lots of things to talk about.
Yeah, we have.
But before we do, a little bit of housekeeping, a little bit of rules for the studio. So we get passionate, of course, and we get involved in Liverpool and in Manchester United. We do, and it was a bit awkward for me to say this last week because last week Liverpool had lost to Manchester United, and if I say it then, it sounds like sour grapes, and I'm like one of those. But this is what happens. This is what happens. Yeah. Liverpool lose, Manchester United fans, and this is, I'm not pointing.
Yeah, no, go for it. Go on.
Manchester United fans, you're rubbish. We've won 20 league titles. You lot are a dinosaur club. You're this, you're that, right? Oh, we've won it 5 times in Europe. Yeah, we've won it 20 times, in England. We've, whatever they say. Oh, we've had,
all the stats all these everyone come out of the
and
woodwork.
everybody starts. They talk about last week's game, and then they talk about last season, and then they talk about 5 years ago, and then they talk about 50 years ago.
Absolutely.
And it's like, Sadat, you're my brother. Right? That's it. And genuinely, we've got very, very close. And my brother is a Manchester United fan.
Yep.
And I'll give you an example. I was coaching the under-12s last week, and one of the guys goes, "Oh, coach, who do you support?"
I remember you telling us this last week. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that whole thing happened, and I was like, "Okay, Liverpool lost. Yeah. Why should that change? What is it about your team losing or your team winning?" And I know,
but it affects the whole weekend, for example, doesn't it? If your team wins,
but what
you're on the up.
What I'm saying is, okay, so let's turn the tables now. Sevilla beat Manchester United.
Yes.
Now, why should I laugh at you? Yeah,
because you're a Liverpool supporter.
No, but I'm a Liverpool supporter. But this is it. We're kind of living our cliches, yeah?
Yeah, Arif has never ever... Sorry, Arif.
I think my point is that Sadat is so biased. We're presenters, yeah? We've got to be...
We're professional.
We're professional. It comes up with a shirt out. Let me take my jacket off.
I do try to be a little bit
impartial. I try.
I think so let's talk about when Manchester United went to Liverpool and they got a draw at Anfield, and the whole world was saying Jose Mourinho, he's negative, he parked the bus, blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, hands up, that's 2 points lost for Liverpool. Mourinho's done his job, because we know,
and we said that at the start. You go away, you get a point.
We know if you go away to one of your competitors and you get a point, that's a good result.
Yep.
As long as you win at home, and then he won at home. So all you got to put your hands.
I think with Mourinho, it's, if we're discussing Mourinho, we're discussing the tactics, the negative tactics, and the way his negative tactics worked against him on was it Tuesday?
I don't think it was never. I don't think. I mean, again, you'll probably say I'm being, but I don't think it was negative tactics. It was just there was no tactics. It was just
I'd have to agree with you.
And they weren't trying to win. They weren't doing anything exciting.
Maybe they were looking at 80.
And losing to Seville is for United is a very bad result, a bad day at the office, as you would say. But the sense, it was the manner of losing.
Absolutely.
It's the same with losing to Liverpool, Arsenal, City, anyone. It's the manner. The way that lose is more disappointing.
So the way Chelsea lost to Manchester United.
Yep.
The way Chelsea lost to Manchester City.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, as a Chelsea fan, you'd have said
it's not a shock result.
Yeah. You kind of went out there for a 0-0. You went 1-0 down, and you thought, let's stick to 1-0 down. Let's lose the game. At no point did they think, let's try and get back into it. They never played. They never showed any kind of.
And this was similar to when Liverpool, again, just sticking to Liverpool Man United, is I can't remember which game it was. We were discussing when Liverpool went down to 10 men, and the tactics didn't change. They lost 4-1
against City. When they lost 4-1 against
was it City? 4-1 okay. Yeah. But the tactics, whatever it is, is the manner of the defeat.
Yeah.
Again, it's not a shock that you lose to City, obviously the season that they're having.
Sure.
If it's 11-11, it's not a shock that you're going to lose pretty badly if they've got a man above you. But the manner is what matters.
So in terms of the house rules kind of thing, this is not just for the three of us. I think this is out for the wider community as well. I think we need to grow up a little bit, really. You see on Facebook, people disappear. You've come out of your hole. It's the same old thing every single week. It's like United fans are waiting for Liverpool to lose so that they can rip it out of certain individuals, and Liverpool fans are waiting for United to lose so that they can rip it out of certain individuals.
So they're more happy, they're more happy with the other team losing rather than your team winning.
Yeah.
It's not like, who's United playing this weekend? Let's have a look at who's Liverpool going to lose to this weekend, hopefully. Yeah. And then it's like the same the other way around. It's like,
so I'm on a group, and we were.
I got thrown out of mine.
Yeah. So I'm on a group, and Monday Night Football, when you guys played, was it Palace?
Crystal Palace, yes.
Yeah, Crystal Palace.
2-0 down.
2-0 down. You won 3-2, and everybody was watching that game. And it was Manchester United, and I was watching the game as well, because it's a Monday evening. I'm at home with the Skies, and I'm not doing anything yet. Yeah. And then everybody's commenting on the group, and I was loving it. They were 2-0 up. I was loving it. I was like, this is awesome. And then they came back, and I said, well, it looks like they're going to come back. And they did come back. So I didn't comment.
I was in a couple of groups, and I didn't comment.
You didn't comment at all?
Well, I knew there'd be something. The spark was there. They came back.
You say that, but he's the only time he's ever commented on Salaam Sports group that we've got is when United lost to Seville. That's the only time Harry ever commented.
And I'll tell you the reason behind that is because what we went back on the week before, I think you were having a go at Liverpool the way they lost to United.
You say that.
This is brilliant that he said that. It's brilliant
yeah.
because I think a lot of our listeners will say the same thing. I remember when Liverpool lost and my friend who's a United fan ripped it at me. Therefore, I'm waiting for the opportunity. And it's just, what is it? Well, this is just, guys, just grow up, yeah? Just
at the same time,
be the bigger man.
On Monday, after the week, when I went to play on
so that doesn't know how to be the bigger man.
No, when I went to play football, they said, you didn't rip it enough. You didn't rip it enough into... Image and Arif for the weekend, right. And I said, look, it's a show. It's a bit of a banter, but there's a level.
I think last week, was a good show. I think we did talk about the result, and we claimed that there may have been 1 or 2 penalties, but at the same time, we said Mourinho set up to draw away and win at home. He's done it. You got to take it out after him, and we've picked up 1 point off Manchester United. We're battling them for second place. To pick 1 point off them over the season, you're not really putting yourself in a good position. So it is what it is, and you just kind of move on from that. And you said fair enough. The 2 goals that Rashford scored, one of them probably could have been avoided. The own goal that Bailly scored, that was the one that could have gone, wrong side of the post. It's one of those things. Football is one of those games where the smallest of things will change the result, will change the complexion. Yeah. So I think as fans, definitely support your team, back your team, and if you can get joy.
You say that.
I think with United over the last couple of years, especially when Mourinho's coming. For me, United over the last 20 years, last 15 years, has always been this attacking.
It's Ferguson days.
Yeah, the Fergie days.
Yeah.
Always attacking. They've had their wingers.
Yeah.
Got the ball in, and they've actually smashed teams. They've gone 1-0 up. They've never sat back on a result. They've gone forward and they've attacked. They've tried to get the second.
So this is what I wanted to bring up. Now, honestly, whether you believe it or not, Sadat, as a Manchester United fan, part of what's happened this week has actually made me sad for Manchester United, and I don't like Manchester United. No,
really?
No. Honestly, this is absolutely true. So you've got this guy Mourinho, and I've always liked his charisma. I think when he left Chelsea, and he went was it Inter? He went to Inter. I thought it was a big loss for the Premier League because there's a charismatic, charming manager who's got a way of playing. He's got an identity, all this kind of stuff, and I thought it was a big loss for the Premier League. He's since come back, won the league with Chelsea. Left them in 10th position and come to Manchester United, and now he is talking about Manchester United that there's some kind of minnows. Yeah, he's talking about Manchester, and they're scared, and they should expect to lose in a knockout game, and they shouldn't expect to beat teams like Sevilla. And there was an excellent article on the Daily Mail which completely ripped into Jose Mourinho's 12-minute rant or speech, whatever you want to call it, and it said, football didn't start 7 years ago. Manchester United were the foremost team in Europe back in the late 60s, early 70s. Manchester United's triumph at the European Cup after the Munich air disaster was one of the greatest stories in European football ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah? So even as a Liverpool fan, I can say this because as much as you hate Manchester United, nobody's going to say Sir Alex Ferguson was anything other than a brilliant manager. Nobody's going to say anything other than Ryan Giggs is one of the greatest footballers ever to play in the Premier League. Eric Cantona changed the way the Premier League stood, changed the fortunes of Manchester United. Then all the youngsters have come through the class of 94. Nobody can say that. Doesn't matter if you're a Liverpool fan, if you're an Arsenal fan, if you're a Chelsea fan. You cannot deny those things happened. But like Arif said, even though I hated Manchester United, I'd watch them play against Arsenal, and the games were fantastic. Yeah, I'd watch them against.
Well, even if you look back, was it the 8-1? Was it the 9-1 against Arsenal?
8-1 against Arsenal. 8-2, I think it was. Yeah.
Old Trafford.
Yeah. And then the fights that they had with Newcastle in the Newcastle days when Newcastle was big and all that. But right now, you've got a situation where you've got their manager saying, no, the fans, they should have high expectations, but they should also be realistic because we've not won a knockout game. I just want to read...
To a certain extent, I believe... go on, sorry.
I just want to read something. This is not obviously my words. I wish it was. This is very, very eloquently put by this journalist. And he said, ask not what Mourinho can do for Manchester United, but what Manchester United can do for him. His was a dystopian vision of a great football club as a vehicle for a narcissist. This guy is so up himself, he's so arrogant that he thinks he can use a club like Manchester United, the biggest club in the world, whether we like to say this or not, they are. They've got worldwide fan base, they've got biggest revenue in the whole world, and this guy's coming to almost resurrect what is a failing career. He's been given 300 million to spend. He can't argue with the players that he's got because he signed Lindelof, he signed Bailly, he signed Matic, who's doing well. He signed Lukaku, who
Bay's doing well as well.
Bay's okay.
He's had injury. He's
a bit injured, but he's doing all right.
Yeah, but he's signed 7 odd players, and it's not like he's inherited a team that was rubbish. Fair enough, they didn't finish too high up the league last season, but we all know, there was a case of not wanting to play for the manager, a lack of confidence, all this kind of stuff. You bring in someone like Jose Mourinho. This guy needs to come in and need to say, look, you guys are better than this. He's still got the likes of Young and Valencia, who were their top performers against
Liverpool. Image, we've discussed this before. We've said if people like Pep or Klopp were managing United, where would they be now? What sort of team? I mean, he doesn't like to develop players. He tries to bring in fish.
I think that's a bit simple. I think that's.
I think he's a results manager. He wants to win. Win games, but not lose. I think more. And I said this the other week, and I think I got ripped in saying it. But he is a manager who just is based on not losing.
Absolutely.
So these are his signings. These are his signings. Yeah. Paul Pogba, heart of midfield. Romelu Lukaku, striker. Henrik Mkhitaryan,
they're not bad
winger,
signings.
Victor Lindelof, centre back. Eric Bailly, centre back. Nemanja Matic, centre midfielder. Zlatan, striker. So he's got a number of central defenders, a number of central midfielders, 1 winger, and a striker, 2 strikers. So he's built the core of his team. And it doesn't matter which team you look at. When you look at a team that's won the league, you look at their core, and they're going to be better than anybody else in the league. You can have wingers who can have off days, you can rotate them, but your striker, your centre midfielder, your central defender, and your goalkeeper, who's been blessed with David De Gea, probably the best keeper in the world. Your core has to be amazing. He spent £300 million and he's developed a core. He's picked up Paul Pogba, who was at that point probably the best player in the world.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say he flatters to deceive and all this kind of stuff, but everybody wanted
Juventus.
Paul Pogba.
He was. I mean, they paid 90 million for him, and that was a lot of money.
Atik Raymond says, how does Arif always look super slick? And he says he loves this show. Why do you be watching?
But we haven't commented. Sorry, we've gone on our own little rant.
Yes.
We were supposed to cover Jamie Carragher and his reaction to after the game. I mean, we talk about our reactions, our banter, shall I like to put it, with the What's Group. Yeah. But his reaction to, and I don't really agree to the Man United fan, because I put myself in a position. If I saw Jamie Carragher, would I pull up the car and do that? No. But he didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything out of order.
Considering what is said in football.
There's no two ways about it. You should be on your mobile phone while you're driving.
Yeah.
But that's what Liverpool fans are going to say. You shouldn't wind your window down and respond to banter by spitting out a car.
No.
And I don't think he knew that there was a 14-year-old girl. I think he knew that there was...
Have you seen his interviews? Post interviews. Sky News.
I saw one. He had his own goal face on. Yeah, he had his face on. The face he had when he scored an own goal.
I'll be honest, and this is, and I've actually got a bit drilled at work when we were discussing about work. I did feel sorry for him because he was genuinely apologetic.
I think,
and his remorse was showing clearly, and that Sky Sports News presenter was just grilling him so much.
But that's their job,
and that's their job. Agreed. Yeah. But it's just I felt so bad for him. Oh my god! Okay, he's made a mistake. And
he's made a mistake, but
he admits he's made a mistake.
He's in that job, isn't he? I mean,
so should he be kept his job?
I think it's going to be difficult for him to keep his job. That's my personal.
Well, they've suspended him for the season, isn't they? He'll be back next season.
He'll come back. When you say, if you either say somebody's fired or you say they're suspended, and they've said he's suspended till the end of the season. End of the season, it'll be complete new season. Everything will die down. Everything will quiet in football, and then it'll come back. And then Gary Neville will rip him for it. For a couple of shows, and then they'll move on and they'll carry on. Gary Neville, I think, is as sad as anybody else that he's going, because, to be fair, Neville knows that him and Carragher, they've got that.
They bounce off each other, yeah. I mean, it's the same with when Neville came back after management. Carragher ripped it into him.
Yeah, that's going to happen. and Mourinho's still ripping it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just the reaction of fans, and we always find it. And we had that West Ham issue with the fans running onto the pitch. Was it the West Ham game?
Okay, so that was a little bit nasty.
Yeah,
that was a little bit.
Why is it in football though? It's because like we have this discussion again and again. You've got rugby, and I can't recall when it's happened in rugby. To be honest.
Rugby is what you call a gentleman sport.
But it's so phenomenally the fan base is just as much. It's just as in fact, revenue more.
I think we're gonna run out of time, so I've got to move it along a little.
Okay, go on.
Let's talk
Champions League draw.
Yeah, so we've talked a little bit about the Sevilla match. Manchester United out, Sevilla through. Sevilla were the team that everybody wanted, I think. Bayern Munich have
So United would have played Bayern Munich if they had won. So United probably have lost to Bayern Munich anyway.
That's the other thing that Mourinho said. He said, "What's the difference between going out in the last 16 and
did
going
he?
out in the quarterfinals?"
Yeah.
Did you not see that 12-minute speech?
I didn't see. I didn't get a chance to. I wanted to watch it.
Okay.
But I did hear the comments, and it was all mainly about him.
Rant,
it was all about
rant
him.
reminds you so much of the Rafa rant,
So
doesn't it?
it's been likened.
It's
to
been
that.
likened to that, but I think Rafa was different. I think someone got under his skin in the sense of Alex Ferguson got under his skin.
No,
this
but-
is the comment. This is more of the media getting
Not
to
just
him.
the media. I think he's even the fans. He seems to
And-
think
and-
the expectations too much. It's not. It's such a big club.
To a certain extent, I do think the expectation, because when we
He
talk
gave-
about expected, we talk about Ferguson days. Okay, the majority of people talk about Ferguson's days. I know
Of course.
United have got a much bigger history than the Ferguson days, but it's the Ferguson's
Oh,
days.
there's
Obviously,
no
the
doubt
generation.
that Sir Alex Ferguson took them from being one of the top clubs to the top club.
Yeah.
There's no
Okay.
doubt about that, yeah.
So, and I think to expect that so soon is probably too much.
I think
but the fact that he spent 300 million, you're thinking,
Yeah.
well, hang on, have we really progressed that much for the money that he's spent? The players, if you say before, forget the price tags.
Yeah.
The players you see he's bought, you're thinking, yeah, that's not bad. Pogba, yeah. Lukaku, yes. Top scorer at the moment at United. He's scored, I think he's one goal away from his best season ever. So you're thinking, yeah, they're good players.
But they expect more from him.
Matic, yeah. Before, I think he was probably the best signing, to be honest, at the time it was happening.
Yeah.
It's something that United needed. Brought youngsters through.
He's the
McTominay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Rashford still coming.
there's. I mean, what's your point to that? What point are you
I'm
trying
just
to
saying
make
there's a middle here. I think the expectations are high for United, but at the same time, he should be making more progress than he is at the moment.
So are you trying to be a bit more realistic now and saying that
it's
United
realistic.
aren't the top
So this
club?
is. I'll tell you,
No,
this
but
is- well,
the Premier League doesn't lie.
I saw the 12-minute interview, rant, speech, whatever you want to call it, and I wanted to sit there and laugh. I wanted to laugh at Manchester United. I wanted to laugh at Mourinho, just because that's what Liverpool fans want to do, right? But honestly, I was watching it and I felt sorry for the club, because he made it sound like he's there doing Manchester United a favour. I'm sorry, if I'm a Manchester United fan, nobody's big in the club. Not even Sir Alex Ferguson was bigger than the club.
no.
When he walked away, Manchester United fans were like, "You've done your service to the club. Move along. Let's get the next guy."
That's
in."
everywhere, like Arsene Wenger, shall we say.
Everywhere, exactly. Arsene Wenger's been there, but he's there saying, "Look, you guys can't expect anything. You've given me 300 million. I've bought Matic and I've bought Lukaku, and they're doing a job for me. But you've got rubbish on the wings. You've got rubbish in defence, and I need to do a lot more." And I actually felt sorry for Manchester, because there's two groups of Manchester United fans. You can tell us which group you're in, but there's one group that thinks Mourinho is the Messiah. No, he's just a very naughty boy. The other group thinks Mourinho should have never come in, because he goes in, gets quick success, ruins the whole structure of the club, and moves along. I don't know which group you're in. Are you happy that he's there, or are you unhappy?
I'll tell you which one he is. He's the first one.
Ibi is watching. Ibi, I'd love to get your comments on what's going on in the world. of
Listen,
football last
you
week.
Like
got to
I said-
remember before
like I
you
said,
got to
no,
go say it again before you see who did we have before Mourinho.
Yeah, who did you have last season? I can't remember. You've got
No, last
You
season,
had, you had Moyes, and you also had
LVG.
LVG, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did LVG end up, and how?
Fourth or fifth?
Didn't know, sixth.
Sixth
Didn't
was it?
make Champions League.
Okay, didn't he make? Okay,
Okay.
they were sixth.
So Mourinho comes in. He's won in 2 trophies, gets some Champions League, and in this season, bar Man City, the top of the Premier League.
So
yeah?
this is the point.
Okay,
to that.
no,
This-
no, no, I'm not saying- I'm
this
not
is the point.
but the
two
manner way
trophies-
it's
wait,
happening-
The 2 trophies, yes, we'll give him that. The position in the league, yes, we'll give him that, because you can't catch Man City this season.
Yep.
We'll give him that. The performance against Sevilla, weak, or just one game, okay, fine, maybe 2 games. Just those 2 games, fine. But then to come out and say, "What do you expect?"
Oh,
You're
no, that's
rubbish.
wrong. That's what I mean.
That's the thing that
Yeah,
I'm pointing
no,
out.
that-
We've got to move on. We've got to move on. There's 2 minutes left in the show. How can we have a show and not talk about Mohamed Salah after he scored 4 goals? Admittedly,
First Egyptian.
First Egyptian to score a hat trick.
They said 4 goals, so I'm assuming a hat trick.
He scored a hat trick. First Egyptian to score a hat trick, and then obviously got the 4th. Salah is being likened to Messi or Maradona.
Again, too
By-
early for me.
No.
No, I agree.
Okay, wait.
I-
No, calm down. He's no Messi. He's no Maradona. What they've said is that one goal he scored reminded them of one goal that Maradona scored
Yeah.
against Belgium. So
Was that the hat trick goal where he turned the 3
where he
players?
turned the 3 players, yeah. So that's fair enough. He scored a very special goal. There's no doubt he's. I mean,
Will Liverpool keep him next season?
is
That's a
what
big
Sheikh
question.
said on Match of the Day.
It's a big question,
Okay.
isn't it?
But okay, so let's just bring to. I mean, 37 odd million. At the time, it was a bit of a risk because he didn't really do it
for Chelsea.
No. And he was a good player in Serie A, but not
it wasn't eye-catching for all the big clubs.
28 goals to Harry Kane's 24.
Yeah,
he's surely. I mean,
Harry Kane's injured now as well, isn't he?
I can't believe we've got a minute of the show left.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I hope he got more than anything. I hope he does the same next season, and I hope he's not a one-season wonder.
And I hope he's still at Liverpool next season.
Well, look, he's done it at Roma. He's done it at...
a Premiership is completely different.
Yeah, but still,
let's be honest.
He's now getting better.
I think the big thing now, and I think the one thing that we're going to be following for the rest of the season on this show is his pursuit of the record for most goals scored in the Premier League season, over 38 games.
Quick question, sorry, I know we've got 30 seconds there. City or Liverpool in the Champions League?
Quick
one-word answer.
It's going to be Liverpool.
Liverpool. I think
is
Liverpool.
that the heart? Yeah. Because if you see what happened in Premier League on the away goals, I think City are through.
I think Liverpool will beat them. Not heart. I just think Liverpool will beat them. I think Liverpool will be up for it.
For me, it's a little bit heart.
Liverpool will be up
His
for
head
it.
saying no.
We're out of time. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Everybody else, thank you for watching and listening and taking part. Inshallah, we will see you again next week. Assalamu alaikum.
Salaam.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.